Hey, everybody. Listen, happy Thursday, okay? I'm a little tired. I was running the streets today. Yes, I was running the streets of New York today and I had a ball. I think I told y'all one time or the other, I have two sisters, one brother. My brother is the only one that does not live in the state of New Jersey, okay? But we went to his part of the woods for Thanksgiving. Okay, he'll be up this way for Christmas. So at any given time, I'm hanging out with one sister or the other or both together. Today I was with my older sister, her soon-to-be husband. I call it him the husband. But anyway, we was together and we went to the Sherry Shepherd show. Shout out to Sherry Shepherd. I had a good time. I actually went to two of her tapings today. And when I say I'm exhausted, I'm exhausted. But I had fun with the family today and had fun watching Sherry Shepherd. So shout out to Sherry Shepherd. She says she is the number 2 syndicated talk show out there. Come on, Sherry Shepherd. Okay. They also, let me tell you what they mentioned today on the show. That Color Purple. Now listen, I could watch the Color Purple like 1,000 times, and I could watch all 22 versions that Oprah makes. Okay, she done made this the second version of the Color Purple, and I'm gonna go see it sometime after Christmas. And let me say this: if Oprah makes another 10 Color Purples, I'll be there. Okay, y'all gonna go see the Color Purple. But they said that what's the girl name? Darn it, her name is slipping on my mind. But they said between her and Fantasia, they thinking the Oscar. All right, I'm gonna go support the Color Purple. I'm gonna have to find me some purple to wear to the Color Purple, okay? So I had a good time. Listen, the streets is smoking hot. The YouTube streets is smoking hot. And I heard they got P. Diddy, Brother Love, on a rotisserie stick, and they keep turning and turning him, and he's cooked. But you know what? You reap what you sow. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Sometimes people think they getting away with something, and it's years later they fall into the pit hole they've been digging the whole time. Happened to Bill Cosby. Now Diddy. Who's next? I don't know. But listen, that's these people business. Okay, I can't stay on it too long. When I hear the next big thing, that's when we'll revisit this Diddy situation again. But for right now, I can't. I got the biggest headache over it. I cannot. Diddy is a little sinister according to all the allegations. I take that back a lot. Sinister seems like the devil. But we'll wait until more information surfaces, and then maybe we'll circle back to Diddy. In the meantime, tonight's trending topic for Thursday is what's going on? What's going on? We got Jeezy and Jeannie Mai is back up. Jeezy said that Jenny is acting like I'm not saying her name right. Is it Jeannie Mai, Jeannie Mai, Jeannie Mai? You know who I'm talking about. But they said, Jeezy said that she is acting like the gatekeeper of the daughter, trying to regulate when he sees the daughter and when he has time to spend with the daughter. And it's rumors on, okay, Jeannie. Thank you, Sebastian. Jeannie, okay, Jeannie Mai. Listen, a lot of couples kind of go through this, and it's kind of sad, right? They use the kids as a chess piece when they're going through a little something. And listen, I'm going to say this to everybody out there. We got to be adults. We got to be adults. When the two adults are having problems and y'all have children together, y'all got to put the kids, carve the kids out of it. I don't care. Y'all can say whatever mess y'all say to each other in private. But when daddy or mommy rings the doorbell to get the kids, you act like you like that person. Hey, how you doing? Do you have a good day? Okay, thanks. Come on, get in the car, mama. That's it. Stop the nonsense. Stop destroying the kids. Because these kids you destroying, they end up becoming adults, and then they be all messed up in the world. They be somebody's messed up co-worker, messed up boyfriend, messed up husband, messed up neighbor. They angry. So I need these parents, when y'all break up, figure a way to co-parent, like immediately. But we're going to talk about it. Do you remember that story with the autistic kid? It's very sad. Very sad. Well, his mother speaks out. Turns out he was adopted early at a very early age. So the mother speaks out, and she is pleading with the victim, like, show my son some mercy. What I don't understand, I will never understand the law. This kid is facing up to 30 years in prison and the woman is still alive. Now, listen, I'm not being any way disrespectful to what happened to her. What happened to her was horrific. But the school system failed that kid. And now the mother is begging and pleading to show her son some leniency. Said he's scared. And jail is not going to do anything for him. Oh my goodness. I'm praying that this thing turns around and that the victim has a heart and asks, because she asked for the judge to give this kid 30 years. He didn't even unalive anybody. There's people that unalive people and don't even do 30 years. Now, this mother, because she said they forced her to put the kid in public school. And she knew he wasn't ready for it. She needs to sue the state, the schools, everybody. Even though that may not help her and her son in all of that situation, this is sad. It's a very sad situation. We're going to talk about it. Then, y'all might not know this country singer. And the only reason why I knew him is because one time in Trending Topic, one of the judges, I forgot her name, they did the Country Music Awards, and she sung with Jelly Roll is his name, right? She did a duet with him. And they said she was holding on to him for dear life, and they wanted to know if she was drunk, high, or what was going on with her. And she said, listen, I was just nervous. I'm fine. But anyway, that's how I come to know Jelly Roll. And then I backtracked and listened to his music, and I loved it. I love his music. He has this one song out called In Need of a Prayer, I think, or something like that. I love it anyway. Let me tell you why I'm bringing up Jelly Roll. Because Jelly Roll, before he became, like his level of fame right now, his wife, she took him in. She had him when he had zero. He had nothing. And she stood by his side. Shout out to all the ladies out there who married somebody that had nothing. You stood by this man's side. And then when he rolls up to the top, he wants to pluck you to the side. The person that had his back the whole time. Well, there was rumors going out that the wife was jealous because he got close to another country singer, a female, and he said, oh, we just friends. Now we got to talk about, can you have a relationship with the opposite sex when you married? And he wanted to tell his wife, he come home and tell his wife all kind of stories about this other chick. They said the wife was jealous, but then the wife came out later on talking about, no, I ain't jealous. I'm fine. But how many times have you heard that story? I'm sticking with this. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Remember, Kiki told us to mind our business. She was fine. The next thing you know, there's a restraining order. What's her name? Tiana Teller told us all was well. They didn't break up because of cheating. Then later on down the line, she come out and say he a serial cheater who left us in a house that is under construction and he's living in a fully renovated pad. Where there's smoke, there's fire. But listen, today's trending topics is labeled What's Going On? We're going to bring the people in the building so we can find out what is going on. Y'all know what I need in that chat now. Come on, what do I need? I need a what? Somebody give it to me. I need a choo-choo. Pull aboard, everybody. Today is Thursday and it's trending topics and we got some stuff we are going to talk about. Okay, I got to bring the people in the building. Hey, Leo.
Hey, Diva. Happy trending topics. Choo-choo.
Come on now. Hey, E.
Choo-choo. I'm here.
Hey, Sebastian.
Hey Diva, hey E. I'm
Hey,
glad you put me near
Bash.
her.
Come on, in my opinion. Hey, Felicia.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Savannah's back in the building, y'all. Ha. And hey, Emmanuel.
Hey everyone. Almost Friday. Yay.
Almost Friday,
Thank
okay?
God.
The diva
Mhm.
tired, but I'm ready. I'm ready. Listen, you know what? This did 2020. I know that. Listen, I'm fine. I'm fine, but I know there's a lot of celebrities and a lot of people that probably just praying every night that they blink their eyes and 2023 will be over. Okay. 2023 has been a lot for these celebrities. A lot of divorces, a lot of separations, but they still living in the same household together. I couldn't do it. No, I ain't living in the house with my. We done. Somebody got to go. One of us got to go, but I can't be looking at you every day because I wouldn't be responsible for my actions. I can't be looking at you every day and it's over. It's too much. I need to be a part to settle my mind, meditate something. I can't be meditating in my room, then I'm bumping to you in the kitchen. I'm not doing all that. Right. So for these celebrities, it's been over a year. So we found out that Jeezy, and you helped me earlier, Sebastian. What is it? Jeannie Mai?
Jeannie Mai.
Jeannie Mai. Thank you, Sebastian. You know, they're getting a divorce. That's I heard they was in the same house together, but this recent update, I feel like they're not in the same house together. But he pretty much is saying that he wants the judge to give them a temporary visitation schedule with the daughter, little Monaco. He said because I think he was being nice in the acts because he didn't say that she was being malicious. He said that she's not being malicious, but she's also not really allowing him to kind of see the daughter. She's like the gatekeeper. But I'm gonna need Jeannie to wake up and realize that this marriage is over. Because she keeps talking about how she didn't plan for a divorce. Well, maybe your first husband didn't plan for a divorce, but Jeannie, you wanted it. So now maybe Jeannie, you didn't plan for a divorce, but Jeezy wants it. Life is such is life. You got to deal with it. So let me get right into this story because we got to talk about this. I need her to figure out, and the both of them, to figure out a way to co-parent nicely. So Jeezy accuses ex Jeannie Mai of acting as the gatekeeper of their daughter, asks the judge to set custody schedule. Look at those two there. It's over. Jeezy accused his estranged wife, Jeannie Mai, of acting as a gatekeeper when it comes to him exercising custody time with their daughter, and he's asking the judge to step in to prevent further tension. According to court documents obtained by RadarOnline.com, Jeezy asked for a hearing to be set as part of the divorce he filed against Mai. Jeezy filed for divorce on September 14 in a Georgia court. He demanded joint physical and legal custody of their one-year-old daughter, Monica. The rapper said the marriage was irretrievably broken. Mai has yet to respond to the divorce. In his new motion, Jeezy said Mai has been temporarily residing with the child in the party's home in Los Angeles. He said temporarily. You watch the words, people. He messy. Okay. Jeezy said they agreed on a formal visitation schedule through the end of 2023, but he said it isn't working. His lawyer wrote the lack of consistency, continuity, and stability inherently associated with such a haphazard and fluid parenting time schedule is stressful to the child, and it has, as is unfortunately inevitable with all families in transition, created unnecessary tension and confusion regarding not only parenting time, but also in regard to each parent's role and rights when the child is in their respective custody. Jeezy said he doesn't believe Mai is acting maliciously or with specific intent to harm his relationship with their child. However, he accused Mai of having acted as a gatekeeper when it comes to Jeezy exercising parenting time with the child, as well as in regard to Jeezy's parenting right in as the child's father. Mai's interference with Jeezy's relationship with the child, again, while not generated from or with malicious intent, is nevertheless causing confusion and tension between the parties and is working to stifle the development of Jeezy's relationship with the child, his motion read. He said, as such, it is necessary at this point to separate structure and clearly define the parties' temporary legal and physical custody rights, and set a parenting time schedule consistent with the best interest of the child. Mai has yet to speak about the split. A source close to Mai told Page Six, the truth is, Jeannie wants her marriage to work and wants her family to be one solid union. Jeannie deeply loves Jeezy and she wants to work things out. She did not get married to get divorced. This is not part of the plan. This is not how she ever imagines things would go down, the insider added. The judge has yet to set a hearing date. Woo, Jeannie, boo boo, it's over. It's over. Leo, your thoughts?
I've often, Diva, I've often had opportunities to be able to counsel different men who, when I did staffing work, that paid their child support and always said, I can't see my kid, I can't do this, or either behind on their child support, and people was holding it against them, yada yada yada. Mm-hmm. But what I always say, go to the court system and set up your visitation.
Yeah,
through the courts. I am all for it. If Jeannie herself have not separated the demise of her relationship and have not moved to the place of it's time to co-parent, too bad on her. Mm-hmm. This man wants to have boundaries and rules on how he is allowed to co-parent and be able to be in his child's life without her influence. And she can give her opinion, but once it's set with the courts, he need to be able to see his child. 50-50, I say, if he's not someone that is a danger to the child, then I say let him see his child. Yeah. No matter how inconvenient you may think, I'm in LA and he's in, on the East Coast in Georgia, make it work it out. If you can't make it work, then go to the court, and then Jeezy knows this is the time when I can see my daughter, and she's a cutie. I can see my daughter. I can be a part of my child's life. Let him do that. Yeah. Let him do that. Me, myself, personally, bend over backwards to make sure the father is a part of the child's life. Yeah. Do everything you can. Yeah. Do more than you feel is necessary, that's right for you to do. Outside of whatever you think he did wrong in the relationship. How poorly he has treated the marriage. How much he blindsided you with this legal action for divorce, even though you still want to be married. Mm-hmm. If this man wants to father his children, father his child, make every opportunity available for him to do that. That's what I think. Yeah. No, I agree. E, your thoughts?
I don't know what this black man is saying. When I hear the term Jeannie acts like she is the gatekeeper of the baby, it's no act. That's what mothers are. This is why we carried the baby in our uterus for 9 months, protecting and feeding this fetus until ultimately it's healthy enough and it is time and it comes out. And then the man has to wait until the delivery to see what it looks like and then slap their last name on it, Jenkins. So it's too many black men who were raised by single mothers who think that their paternal rights as fathers are equivalent to those of the mother. Let me give you a wake-up call. It's not. That only happens when you are married, which is why these men from these Kevin Samuels, incels, and alike have been pushing this agenda of women not having kids out of wedlock. It's almost like they shame you for it. And how is it so many men who were raised by single moms have the nerve to look down on other single moms within their own community lack empathy, and do not want to pay their financial responsibility. Now, not to say this is the case with Jeezy, but I'm just giving you what this is triggering me and where I'm going with this, because the reason these men are pushing marriage and more of a conservative approach to marriage all of a sudden is because they do not want to get you pregnant and then be burdened with child support payments. And this is why they coerce you into having an abortion. Shout out to Brittany and Justin, because it's not just in the Black community. And they want to evade the enforcement office because child support is kryptonite to a man back on the market. Now, Jeannie is a first time mom, and this child is still very young and not articulating full sentences yet. I don't know about any other moms on the panel, but I was very, very cautious when it came to my daughter being able to go certain places and spend the night. And even if it is with her father, I want to know what's going on. And so when the news spilled out regarding the separation of Jeannie and Jeezy, he was out of town. We saw the pictures. He was living it up. This man is traveling all over the United States, and the agenda, the Black man agenda, is to say, oh, the baby mom is bitter. She won't let me see my baby. I haven't heard any instances of any specifics she won't let him see it. Is she is putting restrictions and boundaries on how, when, why, and where, and she's totally within her right to do that. This man is traveling all over the United States with all kinds of germs and hip hop influence. Ain't nobody got time for that. We just saw the thing with P. Diddy. I don't know what's going on with Jeezy and all of this moving around. He has 3 other kids he can spend time with, but when we talk about structure, consistency, and order, all of that comes with staying in one place. Staying in one place. And I feel like when you decide to separate and divorce, it's not always possible to split these kids up with visitation right down the middle. And even if you could do that, why would you? Why would you want to split this baby up Sunday through Wednesday and then Wednesday through Saturday? By the time this child gets to school age, nobody wants to travel in the middle of the week every week. Nobody wants to do that. I know kids who have done it, and I have seen it, and it's not fun. So this is him trying to do a power play because he wants to show her, I'm running things over here. Okay, this is an ego move. He didn't fight for this much visitation for the other kids when they were newborns. So he's just trying to get at Jeannie. And I don't believe that it's solely because she's bitter and she wants him back. I don't believe that. I believe this is a play right out of the Black Man's Handbook. And there it is.
Well, boom. There it is from E. Okay. Felicia, you're up.
Okay. Hey, everybody. I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving.
Hey.
I don't know why did he file for divorce if he want to be with the baby? What is happening here, folks? What's happening? You want to have access to your daughter. You want to have access to the family. Why do you go get a divorce? Why don't you try to work it out? Why don't you go to counseling? I'm not understanding. I'm not clear here on what's going on. So I don't have much comment. It's not making sense to me.
Okay, I got you. Thank you. In my opinion, you're up.
I think Jeezy is full of it. Okay. He got kids all over the place. He ain't tried to see them. He ain't paying child support, none of that. So I don't care about my Black kids, but my mixed baby, I want to spend every waking minute with her, and she's away from him. I don't hire for nothing. Okay. Then Jeannie needs to go into the courtroom and ask him how much time has he spent with his other kids.
Oh my God.
He has kids out here, and those baby mamas want their money and they want some time off. It is hard work having a kid 24/7. And trust me, as a single mom, you need a break sometimes. So go give that mom a break. She needs a break. You want your kids so bad, get the kids that's grown and old enough that they can speak up for themselves. I don't think he's ready to be with a newborn by himself.
Whew. All right. Okay.
I agree.
All right. In my opinion, has spoken. Sebastian, your thoughts?
I find it very, very weird that some people have said that why do you get a divorce if you want to be around your child? Why do you do that? Well, we could say the same thing for women. Because last time I checked, a lot of people get mad when we say, oh, think about your kids before you divorce your husband.
Oh.
Think about your kids. But
Uh-huh.
when we say that to women, they all get up in their arms and are like, oh, no, don't say that. We're going through things. He's cheating, and et cetera, et cetera, and et cetera.
Mhm.
Listen, he has every right to want to be with his child. This is his child as well, just as much as it is Jeannie's.
Uh-huh.
No person has more autonomy over this child. And I know you're going to say, oh, well, she was in Jeannie's stomach for 9 months. Well, yes, but DNA says that that's not 100% Jeannie. It is not 100% Jeannie's child. It is Jeannie and Jeezy's child. And they are married still. They are getting a divorce. And therefore there should be a custodial agreement that the law makes if both of them cannot fully come to one themselves. And I did read the article that you said, it also said that they had an informal agreement. But
Mhm. Mhm.
Jeezy has said that that informal agreement is not being respected. So therefore, there has to be the law has to be involved. The law very much has to be involved. And it's weird that it's always I find it very rude and very wrong when people want to weaponize their children in a divorce. It
Mhm.
shows a lot about character. It shows how heartless you can be. Because when, in my opinion, when you weaponize your child in a divorce, I feel as if that you negate the fact that they're a child. You're using them as a tool. You are using that child as an object and not looking at the child as a human being. You're using that child to hurt the person who may have hurt you back, or just because they fall out of love with you, or you know what? The rumor said it too. Just because you cheated on that person, Jeannie. So
Oh. Oh.
yes, we're going there. It is completely wrong that
Mhm.
people want to applaud Jeannie and say all these things. Because last time I checked, we all know if it was the other way around, y'all would not be saying none of this. If it was a man who cheated on Jeannie Mai and that woman wanted her child to be with her, it would have been like, oh, give her full rights. Give her full rights. Give her full rights. That's what I would have heard from some people on this panel. It is completely BS that this child is Jeannie's child only. It is completely BS that she is the gatekeeper of this child. That is BS. I'm not with this nonsense that this child is more of one parent or it's more of the other. It is completely outrageous how some people want to say that, oh, if he wants his child, if he wants to be with his child, why get a divorce? They
Mhm.
should go to therapy. That is completely stupid. Because we should have said those same things for Melody Holt. We should have said those same things. Yup. We should have said those same things for Melody Holt. We should have said those same things for a lot of other people.
Oh no,
If we
not
want to talk
Melody.
about, oh, if you want to talk about, oh, if you want to be with your child, stay married. We should have said those same things. I'm tired of this nonsense. Y'all want to say, oh, stay married for the benefit of the child, but yet women are the first ones to leave a marriage quick because they don't feel as if they don't want to. Jeezy is the exception. Most of the time, women actually initiate divorces behind their husband's back without them knowing,
Oh.
and that is a fact.
Oh.
Okay,
Diva,
next.
Diva,
Yeah.
may I have 10 seconds?
Uh-huh.
Well, here's the thing, because I
That's
hear
not fair.
what I hear that,
Wait,
that
wait, wait,
I I
wait.
That's not
I
fair.
hear that we can talk about, the child has 50% of the person's DNA and 50% of the other. We understand that. I think we're in agreement. But someone being responsible for a newborn safety and structure and day to
She's not a
day,
newborn.
that's a very big job, and somebody has to do it. And when we talk about the value of family, I would be more inclined to believe that Jeezy would be fit for this position if he wasn't trying to kick the baby's grandmother out on the street and have her living under a bridge. When we talk about the sanctity of the child and them knowing their background and where they come from, didn't he try to toss out the grandmother? Oh no, you can't stay here. Oh, you speaking your native language. Oh no, none of that here. This is a black man who didn't care about heritage and family and ancestry, only his black ass. And so when we talk about that, and we talk about, oh, somebody in the chat said, oh, you're spreading rumors, he takes care of his kids. No, the courts had to step in because his baby mama had to file for child support because the man was $200,000 behind.
Go ahead and speak on it, E.
So yeah, so when we say these things that, oh, he's a good man, and the women should stay married to men if they want to be able to see their children. Excuse me. Women didn't say that we were the gatekeepers of children. Men have nicknamed us that. The phrase that the black incels are saying on the internet is that women control childbirth and men control marriage. So in essence, Jeezy is exercising the portion of the relationship which he can control, which is the marriage, because he filed for divorce. Now, Jeannie is exercising the portion of the relationship which she can control, which is the baby, which came out of her uterus. Once the baby gets of speaking age, then she can come to Atlanta and go to Popeyes with Jeezy every now and again. But as of right now, she's staying with Mama Jeannie and she's eating her Asian Thai. Thank you.
Well, it's completely there's no proof that he attempted to kick Mama Mai outside of the residence. There's no proof of that. There's no proof of that. There's no proof that Mama Mai was threatened to be kicked out. And also there is no proof of I do acknowledge that what happened in the past, but he's probably a changed man. People change. Last time
well, it's no proof that Jeannie cheated. So until we get proof of that, she might be a changed woman too. She cheated on the first husband, but she was probably faithful to the BBC.
There's several articles on that.
Let's give her the benefit of the
doubt. Okay, y'all, I got to let some other people in this conversation. I appreciate y'all. Okay.
Thank you, Diva. Thank you, Sebastian.
You. Savannah, you're up.
Oh my, and this is why I miss being on the panel. I swear I have so much fun listening. And Sebastian, I missed you the most, I swear. But didn't Jeannie just hire, was it Nini's attorney? Yes, I know he's a powerhouse in the Atlanta area. And yeah, so I know that, and wasn't Jeezy on some TV tour about a book and him battling depression as well? So all of these things, I think this is just a ploy for him to stay relevant in social media realms. Because Jeannie's not talking. I haven't heard much from her besides her going on. I think she went on Sherry or Drew or something, but she's really not speaking because she still has hope to reconcile. Although I really think that she was broken and surprised by this. There is no actual proof besides gossip of Jeannie cheating. I really do think she was committed to Jeezy. I think he used her as a come up, honestly. I don't understand why he's embattling and wanting to see Monaco. Everything I see of Jeannie on her social media, she's always with her baby. They spend a lot of quality time together. I can't say the same for Jeezy. And I don't think he fought this hard for his other children. And I agree with Ian, in my opinion, his past is going to be a part of a judge's decision, and all this talking he's currently doing on social media or just wanting to be relevant right now will be used against him. And I think Jeannie's lawyer is just telling her to, stay quiet and let it play out, and continue taking care of your baby. So I just hope in 2024 they can go their separate ways and have the best interest of the baby at heart on both of their parts.
I agree. And major changes in the chat. You're right, girl.
Dustin, you're up.
Yeah, I came with you today.
I was wanting to say that I kind of have my own opinion on this, and as I'm gonna say it real quickly, and then I'll make it really easy. I think that he should have something to do with child and be in his child's life. If he wants to take on a more parent role, then he should be allowed to.
You better come on,
Because
Dustin.
Amen.
I think that he should take. I think that he should be allowed to take on a more role to be in a parent. If a parent wants to be in his in her life or his life, he should be a part of it. Yes, she's a part of it too, but he should be just as much a part of it as as she is and he is. So we're gonna have this debate tonight. We're gonna have a debate right now because that's how I feel about it.
Woo!
Amen. Amen.
you,
Oh,
you
okay.
better speak
Okay.
on the
Dustin
mandate,
is in the
Dustin.
house.
What
Okay.
Dustin?
What you
It's
what
not. Let me
what'd you
tell
say?
you, Diva.
What
Let me
what
tell
did you
you,
say,
it's
Diva?
gonna be men against women tonight because let me tell you something. There ain't never been a woman before. Ain't never had to deal with pushing a baby out of their vagina. Okay, they ain't never had to get up at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, all drowsy, bumping into wall, trying to fix the bottle, warm it up. They
They
ain't
gonna
never had
need
to do nothing.
Emmanuel.
Come
Emmanuel,
on
you
in
better
my
come on up
opinion.
on this panel.
Emmanuel, get up here now.
What
Emmanuel,
what
get
what did
up
you
on
say,
this
Diva? I
panel.
didn't hear you.
No, I said, okay. I said, you have spoken. Okay, now.
Right.
That's how I feel about that. That's how I
Oh,
feel. I think he
Okay.
should. I think he
Okay.
should be 110% allowed to be a part of his daughter's life.
mm.
And
Well,
I don't
Dustin,
think I
go
don't
ahead
think
now.
the way I don't
Um,
think the I don't think the way that she's doing it right now, he don't get to see her the way he wants to. So I think he should get full custody of her.
Woo!
oh,
What?
Oh,
now you don't went too far
Wait a
now,
minute, hold on,
Dustin.
now, Dustin.
Oh, I want to say
Dustin,
one last thing real quick.
you about to be in sick and shut in, okay? I'm gonna need you to chill out with that now.
It's very problematic that Jeannie moved. It's very
And you don't
problematic
went
that
too
Jeannie.
far now, Dustin. He can get full custody.
Yep.
It's very
right.
problematic that Jeannie moved all the way to the West Coast
Mhm.
from Atlanta all the way to the West Coast with said child. That's very problematic,
That's what she
When
was
men
living
do it,
before.
we get police reports of attempted kidnapping. But okay, that's a whole nother conversation.
When you divorce me, I got to go back to what I know. I'm going back to LA. Holla.
When was the last time you had a baby? You was a woman.
Okay, hold on, y'all. I gotta let Dr. Love
Never.
in. Dr. Love, you're in the building because Dustin, I'm ready to
Okay.
give this man full custody.
I see. Oh my goodness. No, we can't do that. So, I feel that, or what I'm thinking is, what is his name? Jeezy is, or which one is this? Yeah, Jeezy. I feel like he's trying to get out of paying that child support. Let's just start there. And
Boom.
then to even it out, I would say for now, since that girl, the little girl is little, cannot talk, and things of that nature. For now, I would give what's her name? Jeannie Mai. I would give her more of like a 80% custody type thing because the bottom line is, Jeezy, when you get this child, you're gonna have 3 nannies to help you or something along that line. So I just feel like while the child is little,
Mhm.
it shouldn't be no 50-50. Now once she get a good 7, 8, I would say yes, but then they still have to take in consideration her schooling and her education at that point. But to say for him to have her the full summer, have her the full breaks,
Mhm.
yeah. But why she's little, I would say no, because it does take a lot to take care of a child, and then with him working. And from my understanding, he has never been that involved in her life like that. So, yeah, that is the child too little right now, is just what I feel. Let
This
her
part.
get 5 at least, of age where she can talk. Even to him to say one of these nannies is taking my food or not giving me food, you
Yes.
know? Yeah. Let her talk first or something.
Yes. And can we shout out Robin for reminding us how Dustin stood up for Nick Cannon the other week? Dustin, I forgot about you, but I see you now.
Ooh, Nick Cannon, not Nick Cannon.
I love you, Dustin.
I missed that one.
Woo! Okay,
Diva,
y'all.
can you
I'll
look at
stand up for Nick
Sasuke's
Cannon.
comment?
I'll stand up for Jamie Foxx. I'll stand up for all the people, and I'll stand up for him as well.
Sasuke's
I
comment.
stand up for all the men in this chat.
I think
Because
I show
I
sex.
feel like I feel like I have to.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
You have to stand up for all the men, Dustin.
Wait, hold on, y'all. I got to get to the next story. Okay,
Not the
listen.
deadbeats.
I don't know what just happened here, but y'all let me know in the chat. Should this thing be 50-50? Or should y'all follow Dustin and just give Jeezy 100% custody?
50-50.
Come on now. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Woo, woo, woo.
I was gonna say,
Please tell me when you gonna say something so I don't drink nothing.
Okay, listen. Y'all let me know in the chat how this thing should go down. I'm seeing some 50-50. I'm seeing some, shared custody is 50-50. Most people are saying 50-50 so far. But I'm gonna roll into the next story, okay? Beginning of 50-50 is going down right now. So let's go ahead and roll into the next story, which is kind of sad. I don't know if y'all remember one trending topics. I don't know when we did it, but there was an autistic kid who, unfortunately, the para, which everybody has educated me. Is somebody want to kind of remind me the right words to say again? But the para is kind of like I'm gonna use the word a helper to the student, right?
The one-on-one aid.
Oh,
Come on,
paraprofessional. The
the
paraprofessional.
paraprofessional, yes.
the PP, yeah.
Yeah, well, Dustin, you better come on through. Okay. All right. Okay. So the paraprofessional, thank you, Sebastian. She took, and it was not his regular paraprofessional. Okay. So she took away his handheld game and he lost it. And he stomped the teacher out. She did get hurt really badly. They said she's out on permanent leave. She's dependent upon like a GoFundMe, and she wants this kid to do 30 years. That's a lot.
Oh no.
That's a lot. And so that's what she suggested. And his mother is begging her to please have a heart and to change her mind, because she said her son is not going to do well in jail.
He should have been put in a special education coordinator. And plus that he shouldn't have been put in a public school.
He shouldn't have. You're right, Dustin. But give me a minute. Let me get through this story. Let's just hear the update here. Let me see. I hope this a play for me. Is that the one I want to play? I think it's coming through.
Interview. Leanne, thanks so much for being on with me. As a mom, I'm just sort of curious how you're processing all of what's happened.
It's devastating. That my heart is breaking. I'm terrified for my child. I feel like if he gets sentenced to prison, it's a death sentence for him. He's scared. And to have your child call and cry and say, I don't want to die, it's awful.
So can I ask, was his autism, was that ever brought in the litigation of his case and in the plea deal, especially as pertains to the sentencing? Because 30 years in adult prison is a very long time, especially for a 17-year-old kid.
Yeah. He was direct filed. Originally, he was charged as a juvenile, and 2 days later, he was direct filed. And no, that was not considered. In Florida, my understanding is that a charge of autism, autism is not a defense, and that it can't even be considered until the sentencing phase.
There are a few things I think that the audience should know about your son. Autism isn't the only disability that he's living with. There's a host of special needs that your son was coping with, and that the school was supposed to be accommodating for. Let me just go over some of it. There's, of course, the severe autism, and then there's ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, something called oppositional defiance disorder, which is, as it sounds, it makes a child extremely defiant and oppositional to any, I mean, even getting breakfast can be a battle. Reactive explosive disorder, that's another condition that your son is coping with. With all of that list, why did the school even allow a Nintendo Switch to be part of any aspect of his day?
You know, that's something I ask every day, and I don't understand why. That in his IEP, it was stated that in the intensive behavior group home that he was living in, if they ever had to remove it as a consequence, they called in the crisis team. And the original IEP called for a token economy for so he could, you know, to motivate him to do his work. He could earn tokens to then go to like a snack closet. This year, he had a new teacher who, it's not Joan. Joan was not his teacher. She's the para. He had a new teacher who, it was her first year teaching, and she didn't, I don't know if she didn't understand the IEP, if she didn't read it, but she approached the group home and asked the group home to send it in.
Listen, for anybody who watches that video, it's hard for them to get past it, and I can understand they'd be devastated for Joan Nadich, the victim in this attack, and I can imagine you feel devastated for her as well. You wouldn't have wanted this to happen. You're obviously torn between the suffering that she's going through, and then of course the son that you love. It's just odd that he was in, you know, this kind of public schooling to begin with. Do you know why this was the situation? Why he was actually even in a typical school like this? If he had this list of conditions he was coping with.
When he originally was in an autism behavioral hospital back before COVID hit, right before COVID hit. And we went through a process to where we were not able to reunify with him and bring him back home because of the limitations of seeing him in that year due to COVID. And so he was placed in an intensive behavioral group home, and I questioned it at the beginning. I had always homeschooled him because he didn't handle the school environment. I asked the group home, you know, did he have to go to public school? Could he not do school online? And I was assured by them that all of their clients went to public school. So even though he was a level 6 and I never thought he belonged in public school, I didn't have a choice.
Leanne, can I just ask you, I know you haven't had a chance to speak with Joan Nadich, the victim, the paraprofessional who was attacked by your son, but is there something you would want to say to her if you have a chance to say it tonight?
Just that I am so sorry for what my son did. And nobody should ever have to go through that. But at the same time, please consider that my son has had a hard life. And he's gone through so much trauma in his life. He has autism. Please show mercy to him.
Leanne, I can't thank you enough for being on the program tonight. And I am so sorry that you yourself are going through this. As a mom, I can't imagine how torn you are. I would like to follow the story and check back in with you in January. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Leanne Deppa joining us live tonight. Thank you for that.
Very sad.
Can I?
Well, hold on, Dustin, please. Hold on.
Sorry.
It's okay. This is very sad. He's 6'6" tall. You heard her say that pretty much she didn't even want him, and she knew he shouldn't have been in the regular school, but they made her pretty much. He was in a program. He has a list of different diagnoses. I attached this article to the description of this video. For time purposes, I'm not going to read through this whole thing. The paraprofessional was unconscious after, he kind of beat on her. He was stomping on her. He did a lot. But the system failed this kid, and very loving mother. But they are saying that the teacher aides alleged she was placed on an unpaid leave of absence shortly after returning to work in August under a different title, and has been surviving on charity from the community. Her GoFundMe campaign has raised $120,000 so far. She's been vocal in calls for the teenager to face the harshest possible sentence. But we saw his mother, who adopted him, is asking for leniency. She's actually begging her to please show mercy on her son. The boy is facing up to 30 years in prison. I don't understand it. It's so, so sad. And guys, give me 1 minute before I go around. Coconut, I see you backstage. I'm the only one that can see you. Since I haven't seen you before, there you go. Boom, you got it. You can put your avatar back on. Okay, I'm gonna bring you up. I appreciate that, Coconut. Thank you so much. All right, Leo, you're up. What are your thoughts on this situation?
It's sadness all the way around. Everybody got a dog in this fight. The woman that was Joan, the woman that was assaulted. My prayers go to her. Mm-hmm. My prayers go to this young man. My prayers go to his mother. The system did fail. It did. The system did fail. It failed. It failed him. It failed the parents. It failed this worker, this teacher. Everybody was failed. And I mean, in the society that we live in, when you assault someone in the manner that he assaulted his teacher, he is going to have to suffer a consequence. Should it be 30 years? I don't know. I don't think so. But he's 6'6". He is a threat to society. He is a Black man. When it comes to sentencing, educational assistant, when it comes to the sentencing, he is going to get harsh punishment. He's going to get, everybody need to get this. He's going to get harsh punishment. And maybe because his mother, he is a gentle giant to her, she did not understand the consequence it could be for her son if things went all the way left with him going to a regular school with all the issues that he has. Florida, historically, I do believe that Florida historically has unalived inmates, children at the age of 13 and 14 years old for committing crimes. Historically. Florida is not and they were Black kids. Historically, Florida is not a kind state to commit a crime and be a juvenile. I don't see mercy coming for this young man. I don't see it. I would hope so. I would hope so. It was because of the fact that they have, yes, the mom did not want him to go to public school. I agree with that. I do agree that that was wrong, but we have to move past what was wrong and what is happening now. And what is happening now is that this young man is getting ready to be criminalized for the wrongs that was done with him being allowed to go to public school. And I don't know, when it comes to sentencing, will they be kind? And will they have mercy? Because that is what this mother is petitioning the victim for. I think everybody need to be sued. I think all of them need to be sued. I agree with that. But suing is civil. Criminal is criminal. Those are two different arenas. Civil is not going to save her child from criminal. And
Whew.
once you get into the criminal system, right?
Mm.
There's not a whole bunch of levers to turn things back. It's just not there. Should it be there? Yes, but it's just not there. Once you move into the criminal arena, when there is a grand jury petition, when an indictment has been served, when folks get arrested, you in the system and the levers don't move with nuance to what problems you have. People have addictions. People have suffered trauma through their family. People have mental health issues. All of these things can be taken into account during sentencing. But the fact that this young man has even got to this place is an abomination. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, this woman was assaulted. She was stomped out. She can no longer work again. There is going to be an accountability factor in this, and this young man will suffer. And I think that it's very little that someone can do about it, especially in Florida. Especially in Florida. Hold everybody accountable. I agree with that. Hold all the folks accountable. At the end of the day, he's in the criminal system. And I think that this adopted mother never had foresight. I would have had that foresight. I would have had that foresight because I'm a Black woman. I understand how a 6'6" young man would be stereotyped to be a criminal and be someone who is dangerous.
Yeah.
I would have seen it. I don't think this woman, she did not see that. She did not see it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, it's unfortunate all the way around.
It is. It is. Ooh, E. And you could tell that mother loves him.
Right? She
Oh,
loves
yeah.
her son.
Oh, yeah.
Her
Oh,
son.
yeah.
Her
Mm-hmm.
son.
Yep.
I think he's a
Facts.
gentle giant.
Right.
I think he has problems. And I don't think that he should have to serve 30 years for them. I do not.
Yeah.
But we have to be realistic. This is Florida. This is Florida. They get ready to throw all the books at him. I'm telling you. And the victim says she wants it.
That's the big problem.
Right.
Yeah. E. Are you there, E?
Diva, I'm sorry, I could not get to the button.
No problem. You're fine. Mm-hmm.
I applaud this mother for adopting this child and loving and caring for him as her own. I have to acknowledge that it takes humanity, compassion, and understanding to embark upon this undertaking. And I have to also acknowledge the teacher, the educator who experienced physical pain and financial loss and suffering as well. This person has a family and responsibilities also. And in this instance, I'm going to have to go with my gut on this. I'm with the teacher. This is a first year teacher. And with a lot of first year teachers, they're not trained to handle the accommodations and needs of these particular situations. And I'm going to say it like this. They talked about the accommodations for this child. Oh, we got to go to the snack cabinet for doing a good job and letting him play with his Nintendo controller when he's done with his work. Listen to me. What we do for one, we do for all. So putting this child in general education, it's not the mother's fault, but this is the way that the schools are set up, not just in Florida, But I've seen this in Georgia. I know that it has been done in Maryland as well. But what we do for one, we do for all. And it is too costly for educators to keep a cabinet full of snacks on standby for 30 or more kids on the daily. And it is unreasonable for school systems to allow kids with these luxurious accommodations to be in general ed with kids who are being conditioned otherwise to do work, sit still, keep quiet during the test, and follow school norms. Why would I give your son a pack of Oreos for completing his work when, let's say, little Ashley comes in and does her work every day and all she gets is an A plus honor roll, a pat on the back and congratulations? What we do for one, we do for all, and it's not fair. It will never be fair, but we have to look at when these teachers are having these kids come in and we're giving these kids the classroom expectations because these kids are smart. I've heard kids say, well, how come so-and-so gets to take a break after a test and I don't? Or how come this person gets to eat in class and I can't? There are
So,
certain...
I'm going to let you finish, but I got to throw this in there. I cannot speak to what they do when it comes to a paraprofessional or a teacher, as in terms of handoff of information about any given student. But I do know in nursing they give report. And when you get report on your patients, they say, blah, 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 on this one, this about patient B, this about patient C, and so forth and so on. I think the system gets an F if they bring such students into their system and they the one that had to sign off on it, and they don't warn every professional, every volunteer, every janitor, and everyone that is working in that building, including not the person's business, but including the parents, to send out a letter to just give informational that our school is a mixed bag of XYZ. They get an F. I should never be going into a classroom with a group of students. We're not talking what's fair, what's not fair right now about how they, because that's on the top what they allowed, right? So y'all allowed it. Now y'all need to educate the professionals that you are bringing into that classroom that is going to be anywhere near that classroom or that could potentially come across this student, what the deal is and what we agreed upon in this IEP. So this student has a list of diagnoses, and he is used to everybody for 29 days or whatever days out the month that he's in school, 24, you get what I'm trying to say. When he does this, he gets to do that. Or he gets to sit in the classroom. We ain't dealing with right or wrong right now. We're dealing with what they allowed. He gets to sit in the classroom with his game, and here I come. And I want to teach. I'm thinking I'm teaching regular class and I want to do things fair. Well, hold on, sis, you can't do things fair because this kid got a certain setup. So I want to come in here and I want to teach my math or whatever, and I want to do things fair. Excuse me, you got to put that game down. Then I go over there and I proceed to take the game. And I personally think whether it's a game, a kid's cell phone or whatever, you as a teacher shouldn't physically go walk over and take nothing out of no kid hand. Because even kids that don't have a problem will get down with the get down when you start taking their stuff. Now you're taking stuff from a kid that has a list of diagnoses. When we all see videos online with kids that don't have a diagnosis, at least yet, from any professional, will be up in the teacher face. Will tell a teacher, I will knock you out and call my mother, and then she gonna come slap you too if you don't give me my phone back. Now you got a kid with a whole bunch of diagnoses, and you going over there and you taking the game. And I'm not shaming this teacher. I'm telling you that you got to educate the person more that is walking into that room. This mother needs a lawyer, and she needs a good one.
Yes, she do. And he's a
Shame
level 6.
on that.
He's a level 6.
Come on, a level 6, Dr. Love. And I don't even know what that means, but I know that means something serious.
It's
when
almost off the chart.
That off the chart. When you
That
go
means
from 1 to 10,
he almost can't do for himself. He can't.
that part. But here's the thing: you go
A
from 1 to
whole
10. I
nother
can make some
level.
conclusions because 1 is low, 10 is high. He's above the halfway mark. He's a 6. And you want to send this teacher or this paraprofessional in there blind? And then now this has happened to this kid, and now this kid faces up to 30 years when there's people that unalive several people, not just one, several people, and not doing nowhere near no 30 years. Matter of fact, they might get 15. And the chance of parole after 6 or something like that, to be back on the street to terrorize some more of us. I'm gonna let you finish, but I had to throw that in. I know your passion towards teaching, but we cannot relieve and alleviate the fact that there were some steps that were missed. That is not that kid's fault. If I go in the room and nobody told me this person was a diabetic, and I'm giving them the wrong medication, what the hell? Like, why didn't y'all let me know this was a diabetic? I can't, as a professional, there are some jobs that you got a higher level of responsibility. You can't just walk in there blind. Well, go ahead, E. I'm sorry. I had to throw that in.
Well, I hear that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still going to stand firm, and I'm going to say it this way, because I understand with nursing, and you get the chart, you look at the data or the regimen, and looking at the medicine and what's required. I hear that. But when we say that everybody in the building is supposed to know that this child has this particular accommodation, I don't think it sounds good. It does. But when we talk about 1,500 or 2,000 kids being in a building, and everybody has something different, whether they have bipolar, they're schizophrenic, they have ADHD, they have oppositional defiant disorder. That's a hard thing to keep up with, especially when you have, and I understand that's the name of the game. I understand that's the profession. I get that. But if you're putting this on a first year and saying, hey, this person may not have been given the information, this person gets a game. Nobody wants those phones in their classroom. I get that. But when we talk about oppositional defiant disorder, these kids grow up to be real adults, whether they have conditions or not. These people work in fast food, call centers, retail, customer service, you name it. And these kids eventually grow up. Some of them get driver's license and get on the road and have the potential to wreck something. If you can do this, and I understand this is his condition. I hear that. But we still live in a society where people who are unknowing and unsuspecting, who you come in contact with, have the potential to be a victim of yours, because they're unaware of your needs and how you process things. Oppositional defiant disorder is no joke. It is defiant and disobedient behavior to authority figures. Let's say it wasn't a teacher. Let's say it was an officer who happened to come in and they were doing an investigation and say, hey, put that down. I'm trying to talk to you. I mean, you go up on not everybody is going to know. And so when we talk about general education, and let's say the minimum class size is 30, and you got this one person who gets a game and everybody can't. No. I think that it is the system's responsibility when people have these accommodations that are so far from what the majority of the class is doing. They should not be mixed in with the general population. They should not. And I don't think that the teacher who is getting cut from her professional, from the professional lens, the financial lens, and all of this stuff, she says she wants the max. I can't argue with that. That's her feeling. She felt she was hurt by it. She felt like she wasn't adequately prepared. She didn't get all the information. I can't argue with her feelings, because one person's struggle does not trump another. Yes, this kid was struggling. Yes, this kid has a diagnosis, but he hurt someone. That needs to be taken into consideration.
Can
Ooh,
I
I
ask
hear
a
you, E.
question?
Wait,
Can I ask a
hold on.
question about down south?
Wait, no, hold on, because I got to
Okay.
get to Sebastian.
Okay.
And then when I come to you,
Diva, can you come to me after Sebastian?
yes, okay, Sebastian, you're up.
Okay, this story is very sad for me because I have family not too far away from this local high school.
Mhm.
Um,
Don't forget me, Diva.
um, but one thing I will say is I see both sides of this argument. And the person who truly is at fault is the person who informed the mother and said that she couldn't homeschool her child. Because I'm very much familiar with the education policy in Florida, especially for parents. And Diva, you made a video about this on your members only. I'm not going to say too much because it's only members only. About the school. Remember that union officer, president or something, who didn't want the vouchers, but had her own kids in Catholic school.
Now, uh-huh.
Well, Florida is one of the states where you can actually use vouchers. It has an open door policy for parents. You can use vouchers to homeschool your kid, send your kid to a parochial school, aka religious school, or
Mhm.
send your kid to a public school in another, I think another county or another neighborhood within your county. So I see, so some for me, for some reason I'm seeing that there was a lot of misinformation within this case. I see whoever informed this woman that she couldn't homeschool her kid clearly misinformed her, because she absolutely should have been had the ability to homeschool her child. But on the other hand, I see where he's coming from. This is a person who may not be able to work at the full capacity that they could have prior to this incident.
Mhm.
This person was assaulted. This person is probably going to have to deal with these emotional wounds and actual physical ones too. I don't know like what has happened to her, but actual physical ones too. So I find it very, 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 very I know y'all are gonna say 30 years is excessive, but I think maybe, please bear with me, it's probably too little. Because if he's young and can do,
Sebastian, don't play on this. I'm so serious. Don't play on this. I got kids that suffer with both these disorders.
if he's young and can do all these things and hurt people to this capacity, it could be, it can be detrimental. It can be detrimental. And I know y'all want to say she didn't die, but you know, maybe it's because they saved her within time. She could have died. She really could have died. And I'm trying to get a little emotional about this because I've had relatives who have gotten hurt, harmed by people with special needs, but it's not that it's their fault. It's the protocols that the school had. This is why I agree with some E's talking points. This is a first year. She is not capable of dealing with this type of thing. So why would we allow this to happen? This is what's the problem in this. I understand, yes, he is a teenager, but you know, being a teenager doesn't excuse you from the law. Being a teenager does not excuse you from these things. And I know some people have said,
So
well, it's
hold on, Sebastian. Hear yourself. Being a teenager doesn't excuse you from these things, but being a first year paraprofessional excuses you because you're a first year. Now you better stop.
no, Diva, that's
Stop.
not
That
what I
don't make
mean.
sense. That don't
That's
make
not what I
sense.
mean, Diva. That's
That's
not what I
it doesn't
mean.
make sense
That's
though.
not what I mean. I'm basically
Can I
saying that
go, please?
there
I,
was
I really want to say
this
something here.
parent was misinformed, and now two things have happened. I see both sides of the situation. Yes, 30 years is excessive, but also 30 years may be too little. 30 years, this child is going to need intensive help. And I hope that wherever, how many years he gets, I hope it's not the full 30, but maybe he probably will need more than 30 years of some type of treatment to make sure that he can assimilate within society, because this is very dangerous if he's doing this over a Nintendo Switch. I don't know what it was. I forgot the game, but it's very dangerous. And I know y'all want to say he has a disability. I acknowledge he has a disability, but just because you have a disability, it doesn't excuse the actions that you do on this earth. You still have to suffer the consequences of what you do. I'm very I am very sorry for some who are taking this very personal of what I'm saying, but I'm taking it personal myself. I've had relatives who've gotten their arms broken from this. My cousin, who I love dearly, broke her arm from working with with certain children at a very young age. She was 22, fresh out, and started to like train with kids with special needs as a special ed teacher, and she got hurt, and then now she doesn't even work with that anymore, and she's just it's very hard and difficult, and I don't think first year should have to suffer like this. It is not appropriate, and I know y'all want to say yes, the kid shouldn't get this much year. I understand that, but still, he still did something wrong, and he must suffer the consequences. And if the courts deem 30 years is what he has to suffer, well, that's what's gonna have to happen because that's how it is. That is just how it is. And I know y'all want to say life is not fair, and it's just gonna have to happen. I understand, Diva. I understand why you're mad. I understand why everyone else is mad.
Okay.
But
I gotta get to, let
this
me
is my
move on,
talking
Justin.
point.
I mean, Sebastian, let me move on.
And this was not his first time being violent, just to mark that on the list.
Okay, so just
Can
for
I go,
everybody,
please?
no, Dustin, hold on, please. Just for everybody on the panel, you know I go in order. I try to have some fairness and some order here, and I
I'm
let
sorry,
people
Diva.
speak. Yes, so I just gotta let people speak. Your time is gonna come. Just give me a minute, and I'm gonna let you speak when it's your time. I'm gonna go across my second line. I'm gonna start with, in my opinion, then Felicia, then Savannah, then you, Dustin, and then Dr. Love, and then Coconut. Okay, so go ahead.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Go ahead. In my opinion.
Okay. First of all, let's be for real. And Sebastian, I'm taking all kind of offense to what you said tonight because when we're talking about kids who have special needs, they're not held at the same as an adult who is full functioning with all their capabilities. Autism by itself is a disorder that stops you from working, especially if you're a level 5 or above. Then he has ADHD, ODD, and some psychotic disorders. He'll never work a full-time personal job. You'll never see him at a McDonald's. You'll never see him at a food giant, none of those places. He probably is on full disability. He is disabled.
Facts.
I have a child with autism. I fight for my child every day. If that boy had an IEP, it was supposed to be followed as it is wrote in the IEP. He is a special needs child. Know what you're talking about. If you go into special needs, you need to know that these are the children that you should be able to teach. They should have trained you how to teach these special needs kids. Don't get into a profession that you're not capable of handling because all you do is destroy these kids that's already suffering. This boy had no idea what he was doing. Autism has to be followed on a strict schedule all the time. You have to set a schedule, and if you take them off their schedule, they go haywire. That's just the autism side. We're not even talking about the ODD, which is a disruptive disorder. We're not talking about the ADD that gets them all hyper for no reason. They're just already hyper. And you're sitting here talking about he needs to be in a prison where these people are going to just beat him for no reason because he cannot function. He needs to be in a mental facility that can help him, not in a prison behind some bars. Everybody failed this kid. The minute they set him in a school and then put out some precautions in place, knowing his diagnosis, everybody failed him that day. And they're still failing him now. And you sitting up here laughing and playing about it.
All right, in my opinion, calm down. All right. Thanks, in my opinion. Let me say this. I'm coming to Felicia. Um, this is an important conversation to have. I don't want to abort mission, but hear what everybody has to say. Just hear what everybody has to say. Um, Felicia, you're up.
This is a tough discussion to have.
Mm-hmm.
I think many of us find it somewhat of a mixed bag. So while I'm listening to folks who are in this profession, I'm listening to parents who are working with their children to give them the best possible opportunities at success. I did a little research on this school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I am very much into the quality of education. I I often say on this panel that find the school that's the best fit for this particular child. All children are different. All schools are different. The
Facts.
learning
Facts.
environment is different. What you need is different. What you excel in are not so easy at. You want to be in places where you're going to have personal success. So I saw the mother's interview. Yes, there have been issues with this young man for some time. However, in reading this story, um, they talk about this school. And they were saying that the high school where this assault took place has been besieged by violence in recent years and days. Uh, just this week, 11 students were arrested at the school after a massive fracas erupted in a crowded hallway. Deputies and administrators who tried to quell the chaos were shoved and punched during the incident. The lack of
What?
respect demonstrated by these students
Schools
is
need to be
simply
closed down.
shameful, Flagler County Sheriff Rick Slay said. But actions have consequences. In yet another violent episode this week, a 16-year-old student was arrested for biting a teacher who tried to stop her from fighting another girl. So, my experiences, my point of view, is that probably somewhere about 75, 85% of the young people in this school are in that space called the school to prison pipeline. They are preparing these young people to be incarcerated, to be locked
Mm,
away, to not have a future.
mm,
So when we say, and I honestly, I respect every opinion on this panel.
mm-hmm.
I say it's poor judgment across the board.
Mm,
You,
mm,
the teacher, you walked into a school. Did you not read the room? Did
mm.
you not note the energy of the place you were in? Did you not ask maybe a colleague? You know, they just called me here today as a sub, and can you
Whoo,
give me a quick rundown?
whoo.
When the mother was misinformed, and yes, she's not by herself, many parents are uninformed.
Yes,
Many parents continue to take their children into failing schools. The same
yes.
school that failed the grandmother, failed the three aunts, the two uncles,
You
failed their own
talking?
mama.
Whew.
And they take them down there the first day of school, all dressed up, all pretty. And they have failed this family for 50 years.
Mm,
But we do it
yes.
because we go in and we say, oh, the bathroom is clean. Oh, they look like they serve a nice lunch. But you didn't notice that that student over there was getting handcuffed by the police. You didn't hear the teacher cussing out the 6 and 7 year olds. You gotta open your eyes and your heart and say, is this the best place for my child? So what I have read and what I've heard from that mom, this sounds like that kind of school that is preparing these young people to be incarcerated.
Mm,
And so my condolences to everybody. I gathered maybe the teacher needed a paycheck. You know, when you're in a special needs environment, and you're a special needs teacher, you tend to get more money. I can only imagine in Florida, that's probably a little more than minimum wage.
Much more.
Okay.
Mhm.
So it's just a tragedy all the way around. And what I believe this young man needs, Brendan, he needs some intensive counseling. He needs to be someplace where he's going to get that behavioral therapy. He's going to learn some kind of a skill so he too can have a purpose in life. We just don't throw people away. I'm done.
Felicia, I appreciate you. You said a whole lot of word there, and I hope everybody caught it. And a lot of times we walk into these situations because we just don't know any better. But she is right. She is right. There has been generations and generations that have all went to the same school, and we proudly announce I went to the same school as my sister, my mother, my brother, my cousins, my uncles went there, and sometimes we all experienced the same teacher. And maybe we all came out not reading on the level we should have been reading on. And so that's how come sometimes I hope when we have these conversations, we understand and we learn something from the conversation. Son is in college. And I'm proud to say Felicia directs me and helps me a lot. You don't know what you don't know, but if you got somebody who does know, take in that information. I'm coming to you. Sebastian left, right? I want to say this. Oh, there he is. I want to say this. I don't want to rebuttal because I need to move on to the next person, and I don't want to be like far in overtime. I want to say that even me myself, sometimes I have an opinion and I say something, and maybe it doesn't come across exactly the way I want to say it. But most of the people that you see come up on the panel, and because they're regulars, I'm gonna call us regulars, right? We have backstage conversation, and I promise all of you out there in the chat that everyone that comes up, and I'm being very serious when I say this, their heart is good. Never really mean any harm. And if you ever come up on a panel to talk, you will see that it's not that easy, no matter what the topic is, because sometimes when it's your turn, like you're sitting there waiting for your turn, and then when it's your turn, the words that you want to say might have left you because you was hearing everybody else's words. So all I'm saying is show compassion towards everybody. And I really, in my heart of heart, don't feel like Sebastian meant any harm. He was just giving his opinion and trying to say his side of the story. All right, everyone, I'm going to move on to the next person. LB said that. Thank you for the super chat. I truly appreciate it. I don't agree with Sebastian either. My brother has special needs. My mom is a teacher, but Sebastian should be free to express himself and share his opinion. That's why we all come here. Let's give grace to all opinions. Well, girlfriend, I could have read your super chat before I tried to speak. I appreciate you and I appreciate your message, because that's why I love you too, because somebody always will give me the words I'm trying to say. And LB said that. You gave me my words, and I appreciate you, and I thank you for your super chat. My screen did shift a little bit, so now don't beat me up, you. I'm going to Savannah, Dustin, then Dr. Love, and then I'm going to my bottom row. So Savannah, you're up.
Thank you, Diva. This is a tough subject. As Miss Felicia, I did some fact digging into the school district. This school in itself has been facing some behavioral problematic issues both inside these school walls and out. There have been several incidents over the last 2 school years since they returned back from the pandemic. one being the brawl that Miss Felicia spoke about, several incidents of students bringing pow-pows to the school, threatening each other, and students biting staff as well. This family, this mother, this young man has been failed not only by the school system, but by the state as well. I also looked into the teacher that suffered the attack. She's stating that she did not take the game console away, and right now she is the interviews that I did see with her. She's I want to say angry and wants to see the young man punished to the fullest, which I completely disagree with, and it breaks my heart as the sister of a young man who also has special needs and is in the state of Florida. We fought very hard for him to get the proper care and rights in the school system, and my brother is graduated and is in an adult program. But my mom, while she was alive, did make sure that he had she didn't take no for an answer. She knocked on doors and made sure, and she was there before school administrators even showed up to work. She would be outside making sure that my brother got proper care in the state of Florida. He is now an adult and is still he still goes to daily adult care facilities for special needs. And myself and my sisters, we are his advocates and his protectors, being that my mother passed away a few years ago. But we always make sure that he's taken care of and is given the best care and protection at these facilities. He's in Dade County, not this county, but I am very familiar with this county and their lack of resources, empathy, and attention to care, especially when it comes to special needs. So this is a very tough story, and the young man is scheduled to be sentenced in earlier part of this year, and I hope we revisit this story when that does come up as well.
Thank you, Samantha. I appreciate you. Okay, Dustin, you're up.
Well, I have a lot to say tonight, and it really does bring another level of upsetting a level to me tonight because I I am in a wheelchair. I have said this before. I have a disability. I was in special education coordinator classes, and and I did the way I had a different school, but I did not like the way that a lot of people were treating me. So that makes me emotional to talk about this because I feel like he shouldn't be charged for 30 years, especially after all the stuff he has wrong with him. To be talking about this, and I'm glad we're talking about this, Steve, but I'm just saying he shouldn't be charged for 30 years in prison. I think everybody is innocent to proven guilty. As far as I know, he has not been proven guilty yet, has he? So I'm gonna wait to see what they say in the court. But I do not believe that he should be serving 30 years of prison because he has all this stuff wrong with him, and he shouldn't have been put in this kind of school district anyway. I'm sick and tired of these people, these other schools putting us on a different level than they are with the regular people. We have our life to live as well, just because we're a special education court or special education kids. So I agree within my opinion tonight because I am emotional with this, and I agree with what everything my opinion said, and I hope that kid does not get charged for 30 years.
Yeah, 30 years seems so excessive to me. Um, especially because there's people that know what they're doing and don't get 30 years.
And that's what I mean. They put they put us on a different level than they do with the regular people.
Whew, all right. Thank you, Dustin.
Thank you,
Dr.
Ava.
Love.
Okay, hello everyone. Okay, so I had some questions in the back. So I'm going to go off of Ohio. I'm going to just go off some things here in Ohio. And from things that I know, um, how can I put it? Just things I know myself. So my first thing is this child had a dual diagnosis and should have been in a special ed class. In Ohio, special ed is 6, and if there's 10, then there is that they call them PPs, peer help. You know, we call it, or they, not me, they call it the help.
Mhm.
So, um, do I feel mercy for this lady that got beat up? No. And I'm going to tell you my reasoning why. One, you learn what's called TCI when you deal with these type of children. And TCI is where you learn how to take down these children a special way so you don't harm yourself or harm them. So, once again, I don't know down south if this child was in a special ed class. Even if this teacher first year, she sat there at the beginning of the year when all the IEPs were read off, okay? And there was a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a social worker, a case manager, and the teachers of all those students. So that's how they report and goes here in Ohio. I'm not sure what goes on in other states, but Florida, if it's not regulated like that, something needs to happen. You can never ever put a child with one diagnosis that have AD, ADHD within a class and then to say this child is off the spectrum. He's above 4. When you're diagnosed above 4, you're off the spectrum. So that parent had to go above and beyond to get him diagnosed. And not only that, as a psychologist, you can't just put somebody at no 6 and 7. You cannot do it without major tests, major this, major that. So I don't understand how a child in your classroom is it is autism at a 6 and you don't know TCI. You don't, it's certain things that you have to know dealing with these children because that child could have tried to attack another child. It could have just not been her. And then I know somebody mentioned the police. The police know how to take somebody down correctly, even if, whether they choose to or not, whether they choose to use a taser or not, that's on them. But they know. So this topic needs to be talked about for these reasons, for education, for parents, who have these special needs children and is not getting these things done. And to even know now, let me go talk to this teacher just in case she didn't read that record, just in case she fell asleep during IEP 5-hour meetings, okay? Just in case. Me as a parent, I'm gonna, because I heard the parent too say this is a new teacher, certain things she didn't know. But there's that point of us as parents too. Let me go and tell this teacher about my child. Most schools send out I could tell this was a deadbeat school that need to be closed down too. Because some schools send out a form and say, tell me about your child. Tell me special things about your child. Tell me things I need to know about your child. Colleges even do this to make sure people get the right roommates. So this system, I don't know what Florida system doing, but they have failed this child to the utmost. Okay. And I'm not this person, okay? This is just my alter ego jumping out. But if I was that teacher, if I could get up, I would have took that child to the principal office, let him beat on her and administrator. Because No, nobody. I don't know if she was a substitute and nobody told her. I feel like some stuff missing from this story because I don't believe she was in a classroom all this time with this child and didn't know nothing. That's very hard to believe, but it can if she was a substitute, if she just was hired in. There could be a lot of different um, parts to the story. I feel like either I'm missing, they're missing, or Florida missing. Something is missing here, major. And then they say this school is having riots and fights. And then I think somebody said it was okay for them to be put in a regular classroom with my normal. Well, not say my normal child, but you putting a child like this in a classroom with a normal child that they could
General
really
ed.
kill. They could kill another. Yeah, and there's nobody there to stop it because if it's a regular classroom, that teacher don't know TCI, how to take that, so that child could kill a few people with their hands because they have that strength off of that medication. That medication gives them major stamina, muscles than a normal person or a normal child, and that's why it's so hard to take them down. That's it.
This is no different than the school that fell that had the 6-year-old that was not supposed to go to school without a person accompanying him, which was usually the mother and father, and he pow-powed the teacher. This school gets an F.
Yeah.
Coconut, you're new in the building. Welcome. What are your thoughts?
Thank you for taking my call and hello
Mhm.
to everyone. I just wanted to share my personal story. Um, and I wanted to say this. I work in, excuse me, I work in culinary arts. I have a degree in culinary arts and science. And I worked at a group home.
Okay.
I'm in California. And one of the requirements was go to the meetings and read their files, right? Because
Come on. Uh-huh.
every everybody had to be acclimated to what was going on. And I might shock some people with this, but one of the girls, she spit on me. She spit on me,
Mhm.
and she spit on me because, and when she spit on me, she said, "Well, you don't like me." And looking back on it, it was like I was coming and going. I'm doing menus. I'm doing food. I'm delivering food here. I'm back and forth. So I'm interacting with the kids, but not too much. And her probation officer called me one day and was like, "I really want you to press charges against this person." But reading their files and knowing where they came from, and this is a privately owned company, they're getting like $1,600 a head for these kids.
30,000.
Correct. And at sometimes $2,000 a head. And these kids are broken. These kids are not coming from the crack era. They're coming from the fentanyl era. And some of their stories I would never get out of my head, of from when they were born to where they are now. So I never pressed charges, and I had family members and I had friends and people. Even the company was like, "Well, why aren't you pressing charges?" And I'm like, "This girl, she probably felt some type of way that I wasn't interacting with her, you know?" And I just, yeah, she spit on me and it was the most disgusting thing, but she really felt like I didn't want to be her friend. And I'm not trying to make excuses, but this is where I'm coming from with it. And this is where I'm trying to connect with the mom and the teacher. But it's like the mom is trying to do the best that she can. The system is flawed and so messed up. And it's all about money and shuffling these kids around. And there's kids mixed in with these regular kids, and it's like a game of chess. And it's not. I just remember just being so disturbed about it. Not that she spit on me, but that, so many people were against her, and I just was like, well, at the end of the day, I was invading her space. This was her home, and she just saw this person come in and go in and whatever. So I just wanted to share my story, and I wanted to say that I think that this boy does not deserve the 30 years. I think that he was failed in some way, some shape or form. A lot of kids in the system are failed. They're just a number. They're just a path. I've seen it. And I went from working from hotels to, group home situations and etc. And it's just like, what? Like, how could you treat a person like that?
Come on.
It's like this person doesn't even there. I would see the disabled people. I would see the people that were schizophrenic. I would see the people yelling out and they're saying they hear people and see people that are not there. And they weren't supposed to be in that situation. They were supposed to be in a facility or a hospital. So it just really, it really struck a chord with me because the system has failed. The system is severely failed and flawed. And I'm tired of these private places that, just like you can have an adult center or a group home or a daycare even, and you are raggedy and you shouldn't be running that place, but you're running it and you're doing the bare minimum, and you're bringing these people in, these children in, these adult people that are disabled or whatever, and they shouldn't be there. They're under the wrong supervision. So I just wanted to say that. Excuse me. Thank you.
You're fine. Thank you. Thank you. Let me say this. Every profession is not for everybody. And if it ain't for you, get out the profession. To me, that's a point blank in the period. Get out. Move out the way and let somebody else do it. So let me say this about individuals that, and don't get caught up on the words because I might not say the right words, but I mean no harm. Individuals that are different, that are special, that have situations. I work with them too in nursing. And you know what I found? Everybody knows a good heart, and I don't care what's wrong with you. I promise you that. Everybody knows when you have a good heart and you're coming from a good place. I don't care if they nonverbal. I don't care if they got 29,000 diagnoses. They know. They
Can you hear
know.
me?
Yes, give me a minute, Dustin, please. They know when you got a good heart. They know when you're coming from a good place. I worked with I never forget this one kid. He was autistic. I don't even know the level, whatever, but he ended up being a diabetic. And when he first came, he was throwing down. He was tall. He was tall. It was a big kid, big black kid. He was thrown down because he didn't know what we was trying to do. What is this? You pricking my fingers to get some blood. And then you come back and you prick me in the arm with some insulin. What is that? Every time I was on shift, they gave me him. But it was all right. We had to initially get security and everybody to hold him down to do the blood sugar. And then to come back and give the insulin, right? I used to do my 3 days in a row because that 12-hour shift is a beast. And I just wanted to knock my 3 days out in a row. So I would have him 3 days in a row. He stayed in the hospital with us a long time. But I would come in there. I have all my stuff set up. And I just talked to him. I told security, give us a minute. You can stand there now. I ain't going to be stupid, right? Not going to be a fool. I said, y'all stand there. And I'm going to just sit here and I'm going to talk to him. And I would talk to him. I said his name. I talked to him. I showed him all my stuff. And I said, first, you know what I got to do? I need a finger. I got to prick you. I said, now, I don't want them to hold you down, but if they have to, because I got to do this. I said, I want a finger. I'm going to prick you. I'm going to get the blood. Yeah, I'm going to do your medicine. Then you're going to get to eat. and I would talk to him. And eventually, I came in the room to do that kid's blood sugar. And he held out his finger, and nobody had to hold him down. And then after he held out his finger, he would do his arm. And I told him too, we gotta rotate. Gotta do an arm on arm. Maybe we do a stomach. Maybe we do your butt. But we gotta rotate this thing. But I'm telling you, eventually he just did it. Right? But you can't be scared. If you're going to be in a profession and you're going to be scared of the patients and the people, then don't freaking do it. Don't do it. Leave. Move out the way and let somebody else come in who's going to care. Coconut, I appreciate you. Because here's the thing. These individuals know that 90% of the people in that group home don't give a crap about them. They're not stupid. I don't care if they was born to crack, cocaine, fentanyl, whatever. They're not stupid. They know when people are treating them like crap. They know when people don't care. If you care, they feel it and they know. And I don't give a darn what the diagnosis is. Now, I'm not saying just because you care, you may not get beat up, slapped, or whatever. Yeah. Gotten slapped, I gotten cursed out by patients, all of the above. But I know what I was going into. Imagine being young and hearing you got cancer. Yeah, you're going to be pissed at the goddamn world. So I'm going to get pissed because you pissed and you cursing me out? No, I'm going to wait till you get through this thing. I understand where you coming from. God darn it, I don't understand it either. Had you only 7 or whatever and you got cancer. I don't get it. But what I do get is how I can help you get through this and understand your medication and understand that just because the doctor said XYZ, that don't mean that has to be your story. Now, we're going to follow doctor's orders, but if you believe, then I'm going to believe with you. And while you can't, while you weak, I'm going to be strong because this is what I signed up for. This is what I signed up for. So it always breaks my heart when people are in certain professions and they're like, no, what, if you're not better than, why are you here? If you don't want to teach, why are you here? If you don't want to have patience with these students, why are you here? Do you want a doctor coming in the room and you done told everybody 10 times over why you here, what you here for, and the doctor come back, what are you here? Well, Dad, did somebody read the chart? Did somebody pass the information along? Is someone talking to someone? You don't know that I got my x-ray. You don't know that this kid got issues. If anything, and you're a substitute, let him keep the game all day.
Facts.
She's backtracking. She's saying now that she didn't take that game. In my opinion, from everything I heard at the beginning where she did say she took it, she's backtracking now. And listen, no matter what I feel for her. This was dead wrong. But 30 years is excessive. It's excessive.
Diva, can I say something?
Yes, you can.
And I'm not trained in this field, but I would notice certain triggers. So there would be some times when I would bring up a full dinner and everybody would sit down and there was a big table, and some of the girls or the boys, when I was at the boys' homes, would feel some type of way because they never experienced sitting down to have a meal as a family. So certain things trigger these kids. It could be something simple as sitting down eating a meal. It can be something simple as, turning the lights off at night. Well, the lights were always on at night and my parents were always running around. It could be, so you have to be careful. You just have to be careful. And like you said, when you get into this field, you just have to know. I'm in a culinary field. I don't know anything about this, but I know coming out of it, I learned so much, and I had so much respect for the people that were sincere. And I had so much disdain for the people who were taking advantage and not treating these kids accordingly.
Yeah. Yeah. Nursing homes is another one too. There's a lot of people working in
Oh
these
yeah.
nursing homes that don't
Oh
want to be
yeah.
there, and they need to go. They need to go because everybody can't come see their family member every day. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. I cannot do this last story on Jelly Roll, but I do want to show this feel good video. And then we're going to close out. Hold on, guys. Just give me, this one is a short one. Let me see where I put it. And this, you know what? It connects to this story. This is someone who she's doing what she wanted to do.
Goes on.
Do a job you want to do, people. So you're not miserable. You're not making nobody else's life miserable, and you loving what you do. God bless her. Said she always wanted to work there. They didn't care how she was gonna work there. 80, she's 85. 60 seconds, Leo. I'm closing out. Your thoughts, your final thoughts. Leo, you there? Did I lose everybody?
I'm still
I'm
here,
here.
Diva.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so
We're here tonight.
okay, E, I'm closing out. 60 seconds. Okay, I might have lost. Oh, Leo, I see your mic is off. Go ahead. 60 seconds. I'm closing out.
Yes, go ahead on, girl. You do it. You know, I got a new job. You know, I'm busy up in here. Go ahead, E. Take it home. Thank you so much, Diva.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Gwendolyn, thank you so much for the super chat. Diva, can someone say a prayer for everyone involved in this story? It is so needed. Gwendolyn, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for the super chat. E, your thoughts. Did she drop? I think E just dropped. In my opinion, your final thoughts.
I'm glad the Lady Love was doing what she's doing. But most importantly, I'm gonna pray for this little boy.
Yes.
I'm sorry, y'all, if I got emotional. It's hard.
You're fine. You're fine.
I'm dealing with the same issue with my baby, so this hit me kind of hard, and I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings, Sebastian.
We're all family, in my opinion, and you're good. It's okay. I appreciate you. I appreciate Sebastian. I appreciate everyone, and we love you. In my
Please
opinion,
don't cry.
you know we don't catch any feelings over here. You're fine. Love you, and I'll be praying for you too. Dr. Love, 60 seconds.
In my opinion, are you okay?
All right, Dr. Love.
Okay.
Go ahead. 60 seconds.
Okay. Well, thank you for this last story. Thank you for this conversation. And like you said, everybody on this panel has a beautiful heart. We love each other. In my opinion, I don't think Sebastian took it to heart, but I'll let him speak for himself. I love each and every last one of you guys on this panel and in the chat as well. I have love for everyone. I will pray for everyone tonight and have a great night.
Thank you, Dr. Love. I appreciate you. Savannah?
Well, I'm just glad to be back. And it has been a great conversation. And much love to all. And thank you, Diva, for ending the show on such an amazing story. And I will pray for not only this young man, his family, and the community, but for, in my opinion, and Sebastian, I still love you. And I'm glad that I was able to share tonight with you.
Thank you. Thank you, Savannah, so much. Felicia?
Thank you, Diva, for another interesting and very thought-provoking conversation. You really had to go inside of yourself tonight to figure out where you stood on a very complex situation. To all the folks on the panel in the chat, I encourage you to seek out really good schools for your child. Find a really good match, one that's going to be successful, one that's going to be happy, one that everybody's going to have a quality education. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you, Felicia. Coconut, you new in the building, but we love you. Thank you for being here. Your final words? All right, we might have lost Coconut. Okay. Dustin, your final word. Oh, wait, hold on, Dustin. Go ahead, Coconut.
Letting me
Huh?
subject.
Okay. You're breaking up.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we hear you better. Yes.
Thank you for letting me share my story. And also, Diva, thank you for just even touching on this story, because I think this is something in the world that is overlooked and understood. Not understood, it's, thank you very much. Just thank you. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. I'm connecting. Gwendolyn, thank you again for the super chat. In my opinion, I'm sending you so much love and hugs. Thank you, Gwendolyn, for the super chat, and thank you for the hugs and love for, in my opinion. Dustin, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that I love everybody on the panel tonight, and we had a very needed conversation, a very emotional conversation, but it was very needed. And in my opinion, I hope you're okay.
We do. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate y'all for hanging in there. Okay, we never know how these conversations are gonna go, but I'm glad that y'all stay in there and y'all hanging there with the conversations, and that we accept and appreciate and respect everybody's different viewpoint and opinion. Okay, they're needed. We would never have such a full conversation if everybody didn't say how they truly feel about it, right? And we know it's going to be a mixed bag, because you have this teacher that is very, upset. And I'm not saying she doesn't have the right to be upset, right? And I don't know what I would be saying if the kids stopped me out in the school where I felt like I was just going to work, right? So anyway, guys, thank you. If you didn't hit the like button coming in, hit it going out, and I'll see you next time for Trending Topics. Take care and have a good night, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.